Hey, it's Dr. Rowe here. I hope you're well. I'm recording this live from Denmark. It is beautiful. It's blue sky. I'm getting messages coming in from people. And I wanted to record this for you because one of the biggest challenges, I think, for a lot of people when they're looking into the next year is how are they going to achieve their goals, how they're going to get to those goals in an efficient way. And I just want to tackle the subject briefly this morning whilst I'm looking out at the blue sea and I've got blue skies above me. And I know how difficult this can be for a lot of people because aspirationally we end a year and we start a new year and we reflect on all the things that have gone well in the past year and we looked at the things that haven't worked so well, and then we look ahead into the next year and we say to ourselves, right, what can I do next year to become even more effective? How can I be more efficient? How can I achieve those goals that I set myself? And that's fantastic. I think that's really important for everyone to do, because if we aren't steering into the new year with some sense of direction, we're just going to meander and become this wide river that just loses direction and loses momentum. So I want to talk to you just briefly this morning, not so much about what you can do, but more about who you need in your journey, as part of your journey. And that's the thing, I think that a lot of people forget to do. Whenever I'm running events, whether it's events to do with personal development or whether it's events to do with communication or whether it's events to do with property investing, for example, there are two groups of people typically. There are those that come to the event and they're sort of coming because they're dragged along a little bit and they're kind of being cajoled there. They don't really need to be there, but they thought they'd come because they're pleasing their partner. And then there's the other type that come that they want to grow, they want to learn, they want to expand, they want to become better as human beings, whether it's in the financial side, the business side, the property side, personal development side. And those people are more open to learning, having other people help them. Whereas the ones that are dragged there, they have the DIY attitude, which is I can do it myself. And in reality, I'm just going to flick this off my screen. In reality, anybody that's ever achieved anything at any level has not just done it on their own. They've done it with the right support around them, the right network around them, the right people around them, the right coaches, the right mentors, etc. So my question is, as you look into 2020, who do you believe in this last year that had you had them on your team, had you had them supporting you, had you had them guiding you, had you had them giving you knowledge, experience, had you had them just there emotionally supporting you, whatever it is, because I don't know what area of your life that you want to work on next year and that you feel you could have done better this year, who could those people have been? Could it have been a professional, somebody you needed to engage that you didn't do because you thought you could do it yourself? I get a lot of people, for example, in the real estate business, in property, deciding to take on projects completely for themselves, doing everything themselves, everything from the refurb, the electrics, placing the tenants in place, etc. I don't need to pay anybody else, I do it myself. But of course, the number of hours they spend doing that and the time they spend doing that tends to take up so much of their emotional time and their physical time that they've lost money that they could have made doing something else. So you've got to move the ego aside, and that's something I've learned over the years. And being a teacher, being somebody now in my 50s, over the years, what I've discovered is as I've got older, you carry a lot of knowledge with you, a lot of experience with you, and you tend to be in that headspace where you just want to guide people and get into your business and do it yourself. And that's easy to do if you've got a lot of experience and knowledge and you're very skilled in a specific area. However, that may not be the best use of your time. And if you haven't read it, there's a great book called The E-Myth. You've probably heard me hammer on about it if you ever come to an event with me. But it's a book I read years ago. The E-Myth by Michael Gerber, and he talks in there about the entrepreneur myth, and essentially people trying to do everything in their business, they're never going to expand because all they ever try and do is control. And the problem is with wrapping your arms around a business, and if it's trying to grow and you're the one trying to hold on to that business, it's never really going to expand very big. So start thinking about in the different areas of your life, whether it's in the personal development area like your health, whether it's in relationships, whether it's parenting, whether it's to do with expanding your business or your career, whether it's to do with your property business, whether it's to do with trading the stock market. It doesn't matter what it is, really. Ask yourself a simple question. In order for me to get from here to here, what are the gaps that I need to cross? And who are the people that can help me cross those gaps? Put ego aside. Put that sense of pride aside. Who can help you? Now, if it's guidance, then you're talking about coaches, you're talking about mentors, you're talking about people that are more experienced. And then, of course, you're going to have to dig into your pocket to pay for those people. And hey, you know what? You've got to weigh up if it's worth paying them versus doing it yourself. And if it took you an extra 2 years to achieve a goal that a coach or a mentor could help you achieve in, say, 6 months, then in my view, that's a massively worth. I mean, that investment of money is worth it, because if you think about it from your perspective, if you become financially free and you're making 50 to 100 grand a year, if it took you an extra 2 years to get there, that's an extra 100 to 200 grand it's cost you to get there in time. Whereas if you paid somebody to help you get there, they're going to help you get there a lot quicker, and the skill set's going to accelerate you to another level altogether. But if it's to do with health and you're saying, well, I don't really need a trainer, I can go and work out myself, I don't need somebody to guide me from a diet perspective, then it could be that the long-term detrimental effect on your health is so much so that had you had that person earlier, they could have helped you become more vibrant, more energized, sleep better, feel better. What's my point? My point is, ask yourself an honest question. Who do I need to have around me next year to get to where I need to get to quicker, more efficiently, more effectively, safely, and you know what, with a greater sense of fun as well? And they could include coaches, mentors, friends. Who do you have around you that you trust, that you can have maybe a more honest conversation with? It might be that you need more support from your family next year. It might be that you're a parent or soon to be a parent and you realize you're going to need some support. I know people that are having children next year and they're going to be in for some great surprises, because when you when you have kids, the things that you were able to do so easily before by quickly dropping out everything and just going out and doing something, you can't do that as easily now. You have other joys, other great experiences, but there may be certain things that you need to think about, because when it hits you and you realize, oh my gosh, I can't do this, I can't do that right now, I need to have somebody to come and support me, and then I can go and do that. That's great. So it's planning ahead, it's starting to think differently. And that's the main message here. So I would start with creating a list of the different areas of life that you have aspirations for 2020. And then what I would do is start to ask yourself the question, who are the people I need in that journey, on that journey, alongside me or above me, guiding me, so that I can make sure I get there in a way that makes it enjoyable, makes it fun, makes it a journey that you can enjoy, not just the financial side of it, the emotional side of it, the spiritual side of it, but also gives you a chance to be present. Because that's the other challenge, of course, is that if you're really busy, and you're trying to do everything, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do that, I'll do that. The challenge you've got is ultimately you're not going to have the time to be present with yourself. So the other benefit to having support from other people and actually giving yourself some time back is the opportunity to be present, is the opportunity to have the time to enjoy moments like this, where it's absolutely beautiful. So that's the main message. I'm going to keep hammering on about this over the next year. If you haven't joined me on the Growth Tribes podcast, come and join me with Harminder Tour. Go to growthtribes.com. You can go and find out also about, we have an amazing community of people that support each other. And also I have a vault there. And in the vault, what I have are different video series. There's a video series on time management, how to be more effective with your time. There's another video series on life balance, and how do we get more life balance? How do we get more time back with our families and in our workplace? And part of that is having the right people around you. And the other series that you might want to consider for 2020, of course, is the Purpose series, which is a whole video series on how to create a greater sense of purpose in anything you're doing. So, I'm sending you lots of love. I'm sending you all the best wishes for this end of 2020 as we go into 2000. Where are we now? I've lost track. It's 2020 next year. So we're coming at the end of 2019. I'm trying to accelerate things already. I think as well, as you come to the end of this year, if there's anybody, here's a personal message to all of you. If there's anybody in your life that you haven't connected back with, do reach out. There's a couple of close friends of mine that I haven't been able to reach out to in the last couple of months. And I've made a point, I actually made some notes last night, about 4 or 5 people that I really want to reach out to and say hi to, who I want to connect back with. And that's another thing, is who do you want to have in your life who you've missed around you for a while? Who do you want to have in your life that you feel that you haven't connected back with, that you need to spend more time with? One of those is a good friend of mine called Corey, and if he's watching, I'm reaching out to him. I love him very much. He had a lovely baby boy last year. and I haven't had a chance to connect with him very much this year. So he's one of the people I'll be reaching out to. Some of you know Corey very well. But, you've got to think back and think, who do you know in your life on a personal level that you'd like to have and spend more time with next year as well? So it's not just on a professional level here. We're talking about just in life generally, because it goes quick. And, it's 40 years ago that my father passed away, and I was reflecting on it this year. I was 13 years of age, and it goes fast. And I think as a parent, you see that in your kids as well. You realise how rapidly it goes. So if there's an opportunity to have more people in your life that help you get better quality of life, it's worth thinking about that as well. So it's Dr. Rowe signing out. Have an amazing Christmas, and I shall speak to you before the year is ended and the new year starts. Take care.